and thanking Eugenia for just we made this happen together, but she's the keynote speaker here. But I will tell you how this started, which I knew Eugenia very little, not at all, really. I saw her at the co-op.
First time you met me, I think about 7 years ago.
Seriously?
Uh-huh.
Okay, maybe that didn't happen for this
Yes, you
conversation.
even touched my body. It was when I just arrived here.
Yes,
And
yes.
Jordan gave me opportunity to feel your massage.
That's right, I did. I gave you a massage. I forgot even.
What body looks like?
I was thinking, yeah. Oh, I can forget by evening going touched. Yes, I knew that I had met you before. We had this conversation, which has now originated into this. And I say 1.5 to 2 years ago, we were standing out in front of the co-op, and that I really engaged with you on, and we shopped, we stood outside, and then Eugenia started to share her story, and it was so, and I really believe in
This part
story.
already I do not remember.
Stories really let you know somebody, and so the further she got into her story, the more finally I said, would you be willing to do a community visit with people that we invite to come listen?
Yeah.
And she said yes, and then I forgot about it for a time, and then she obviously she has too. And then it kind of came back around. I may be embellishing, but anyway, that most of it's true, and it just kind of came out of a very organic moment in front of Coosehead Food Store that this conversation came about. And I had the focus of, Eugenia, I know, is 3rd generation woman doctor in her family.
Correct.
And that's not in her bio. I got that on the side. And that made me think about, I'm not a world traveler, but her practice came out of, she was in Kiev and in many places, she'll tell you. But I was interested in how do you do medicine there? And then she used the word homeopathy. And that sparked my attention a lot because I'm very interested in homeopathy also. And anyway, it took about 1.5 years or 2 to make this visit happen. And we do want to have questions and answer time. There's going to be questions. We want this to be intimate. It's a nice small group. We can do that. And just take care of your own personal needs. There's bathrooms. You could go get water, whatever. Do whatever you need. But I have a few notes. Let me make sure I covered it. Oh, yes. So another thing I knew when I spoke with Eugenia at the co-op that day was she and John Burles, who was a friend of mine, I knew they had a long, distant commuting relationship for a few years, and they would travel back and forth to each other's country and got to know the countrysides and the families. And they married in 2012, true? 2013?
2012,
2012.
December 17th.
She immediately got her green card, and then she got U.S. national.
Actually, that part is covered in my short bio.
Yes.
When I got my green card and citizenship.
Yes.
So now I wanted my John to be closer here as chief
Got it.
executive interpreter from Russified English to Americanized English, because of course I will never get rid of my accent, and maybe sometimes you will not understand me. Just let me know if you want me to talk louder or to use microphone, or just maybe ask interpreter to help.
How does the microphone sound that you would like to hear?
Let us check. What I hate, to make it sound, I must
Get
put it
really
too
close.
hold it really close to my mouth.
Probably need to turn it on.
Can we turn it on?
There you go.
Yeah, that's Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I can talk this way. So, the main topics are covered in our invitation: holistic medicine, life longevity, importance of activity, self-care, food. But again, this is what we discussed with Christy before this meeting. I'm so happy to meet people who can be in the same shoes where I am. And, you know, now in this part of my life, I have enough time to think to be philosophical sometimes, to think what indeed can make us happy. We all can still walk, eat, enjoy our food and water, and what else do we need? Well, let me start from the very beginning, because we must talk same language. Holistic medicine, what is that? Probably you guess that when it goes about holistic medicine, it means that we must cure not just some part of our body, like left ear or right ear. It was joke of my granny, still in 50s.
It might be better without the microphone.
Yes.
Let me try without it.
Yeah, just talk loud.
I will just try to use my radio voice instead of microphone. Maybe it will be better.
Yeah.
So it was back maybe in 70s, the joke of my granny, who was also a physician, as you heard. She was sometimes not happy that so many specialists are rising around. She said, now soon we will have specialists in the diseases of left ear and specialists in diseases of right ear. But we must treat the whole person. So the holistic medicine considers the whole person, including body, mind, spirit, and emotions, in the quest for optimal health and wellness. And one can achieve optimal health, which is our primary goal, by gaining proper balance in life. I tell you, we all can live long. Trust me, we can live longer than 100 years. Just we all need the proper maintenance. And what means proper maintenance? Look at all these cars. Some cars with good maintenance can run decades. The other can be trashed in 1 year. Same with people, same with anything. And maintenance means put it in the safe place. So we all strive for safety. We want to stay in safe environment. Cars want good gas. Yes, we all want good food. About good food we will talk later, because it is big topic. We all need some technical support, which is medicine. Yes, we need medicine. The whole person, sorry, just all these cars are just in front of my eyes, and that makes me comparing it all time. The whole person is made of interdependent parts, and if one part is not working, the other parts will be also affected with different imbalances, physical, emotional, or spiritual. And all these components can negatively affect each other. We can talk more about homeopathy, but this is what I was doing for years. When any person came to see me as doctor, for example, those could be, and you know, as a homeopath, I was working as the family practitioner, as anybody could come. Those could be kids, adults, women, men, elderly people. So I used to be flexible, adjustable, and to be able to meet different situations. So when anyone came to me, my main purpose was first to find out whether I am able to help, or I should send this patient somewhere else. Because again, this was from my granny. Never try to treat what is untreatable. To be honest, when I met patients with cancer 3rd or 4th stage, I even didn't try to help. I just said, honestly, I cannot help you. But when people came to me with like benign tumors like myomas or prostatic adenomas, I had certain set of questions which helped me to choose the proper remedy. In homeopathy, you cannot help, you cannot treat the body if you do not ask about emotions if you do not analyze what kind of personality is meeting you. And my traditional question was, okay, so you developed myoma or prostatic adenoma recently. What happened in your life before this started? And trust me, everyone had some stress. In the case with myomas, it was usually some family arguments or divorce or affair. So like their woman's entity was injured. And they started to defend this part of the body. About the same happens with prosthetic glands. So the emotional injury is that the male feels that no one needs him, and maybe his kids do not need him. And again, the body starts to defend in this maybe unusual way, but it does. Not to say about eczema, psoriasis, I don't know what, of course, here it's not the point to discuss anyone's personal problems because it is not, it is public. But everyone can recall that before some chronic conditions just started to develop, there was something in the beginning. But what happens here? I'm sorry, in this facility, mostly people are coming for medication. Give me magic bullet. And everybody believes, sorry, not everybody, but many people believe that they can do whatever in their life. They can eat whole crap, they can do whatever is wrong, and then come for the magic bullet, and okay, goodbye. I will be healthy and happy. No way. It doesn't happen. Thank you very much. So instead of working just solely with medications, look at these potential factors that may be causing the health problems. It can be whatever, like, for example, even headaches. You will not believe there are dozens of reasons for headaches. And treating all the headaches just by painkillers, not really good. So it can be diet, it can be sleep habits, it can be stress and personal problems. Anything can be the cause of any condition, whatever you will name. Same, first, the doctor or the person who tries to help you when choosing the treatment should involve fixing the cause of the condition, not just alleviating the symptoms. What does include lifestyle? Diet, exercise, psychotherapy. Well, that's why I'm happy to meet people with whom we could make the group of people who are interested to help each other. Because my aim to come here and talk is not to earn money or to do anything. I just want to find friends with whom we can support each other and help. Just recently, it was occasional conversation with a woman who was talking to me about treating skin cancer with American herbs successfully, without cutting, without butchering. It was a miracle. It was discovery for me because I'm more familiar with European herbs, but not with local. Okay? I'm learning. We are learning all our lives. So, which are the methods of complementary and alternative therapies? Because, of course, this building is filled with traditional therapists. It can be acupuncture, it can be chiropractic, it can be homeopathy, it can be massage therapy, naturopathy. And there are other methods, like kinesiotherapy, for example, treatment by movement. Again, it is discovery of my recent months. You see, this is how we are built. Trust me, I turned 62, and just now I learned that even how our teeth are meeting each other, upper lower jaw, is affecting our feet. Everything is connected, and vice versa. The way how we are walking can affect the condition of teeth, and it can be even the cause of the headaches. I made big discovery. Of course, prevention is preferable to treatment, because when you already try to pour water on the fire, it is not efficient enough. Sometimes you will find just the coals. The ideal physician is the ideal relationship is when the patient and the doctor are taking the same responsibility. It must be always a relationship. Just that the doctor cannot help you. No, throughout all my professional career, I was talking to myself that I'm repeating many words every single day. Food, no smoking, no alcohol. And I was always talking to me, okay, I see the eyes of this person. The eyes are not bright. Probably he will not follow all my advices. But if my advices will help even 1 or 2 people a year, I must be already happy. Of course, this is just the human behaviors, human psychology. Each of us wants to hear what he or she wants to hear and ignores all the rest. So maybe some of my words will be vibrating for you. Maybe some words will not. We'll see. But I'm here to learn too. So you're all welcome to argue. I wanted to say a couple words about the modern trend in probably not just American medicine, but American medicine is what I see around. I'm very unhappy with the fact that this so-called telemedicine is being developed. Because the medicine which I was taught since my childhood was that as soon as any patient is entering the room, you're watching. Your eyes, ears, nose, everything is open, and you're analyzing. You're watching how the person is walking, how the person is sitting in the chair, what if there is some smell from the skin. Of course, you analyze the movements, you analyze everything. When it goes about skin, I must touch the skin. I must move the skin. I must see how the skin is changing under different angles of light. Tell me how it can work with telemedicine. That's why people can get wrong diagnosis, can get the wrong treatment. Of course, I know all the arguments that telemedicine is better than no medicine at all. But it is not much better, to be honest. It is.
There's exceptions.
What's that word you're saying? I'm not sure.
Telemedicine.
Tele?
Tele means that
Okay.
some
T-E-L-E.
radiologist sitting, for example, in Eugene,
Oh.
who never talked to you,
Oh, got
is
it.
just looking at your X-ray
Thank you.
and
Yes.
writing the diagnosis,
Yes,
which
yes.
is absolutely not correct.
I call that virtual doctor or something.
Yes, better ask Dr.
That's
Google.
pretty accurate.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Now I want to talk about so-called New German medicine, and I believe none of you have heard of it. This is, actually it is not really new German medicine, because the founder of it, Dr. Hammer first published all his researches in 1981. He discovered that every single disease is caused by a shock experience that catches us completely off guard. And this shock not only occurs in the psyche, but simultaneously in the brain and on the organ level.
I don't think we quite understood what you said. I didn't.
Okay, let me try again. Actually, it is just same what I said before, just it is the more strongly built concept. All diseases are from stress.
That's true.
And this is the stress which affects the body on different levels. I must make a confession which can surprise someone in this room, but just last year I developed a very severe anaphylactic reaction towards the bee sting. It was first time in my life. It never happened to me before. It was severe. I fainted a few times. It was cardiac reaction. And you can say, okay, where is the stress? But as a matter of fact, that day I had to be present at some place where I didn't want to be present at all.
Okay.
Of course, I do not know. I was trying to analyze if it is connected or not. Who knows? But sometimes what is helping us in such weird way. So, when you find anyone in anger, in stress, in fear, in anxiety, this person needs help, because otherwise the body will be deteriorated in this or that way. Dr. Hammer, actually, he was analyzing different sorts of tumors as the defensive reaction of the body. For example, when it goes about skin cancers, what is the main function of the skin? Skin is the biggest organ of the body. Actually, it is defending the body against the environment. And when the tumors appear, when the cancer develops, means that the person is not in agreement with the environment. Of course, here I'm not working as a physician. That's why all my meetings and conversations with people are kind of accidental. But still, I will die as a doctor, because this is the way how my brain is working. When meeting people with multiple skin cancers, and well, the chest looked like the person was stabbed many times, I always try to start the conversation. What happens in your life? What's wrong? What kind of stress is around you? Every time it was some stress. Twice I found it was just the affair of the spouse. I did not invent anything. So now the new German medicine is trying to treat cancer patients with different sorts of psychotherapy first, before taking knife. I do not want to say to everyone that we do not need cancer centers, we need just psychotherapists and psychiatrists. No, absolutely not. But to treat just body is not correct. Everything is working just in harmony. Everything must work in cooperation. About life longevity. proud that we live in USA, and this is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. I was thrilled to find that the life longevity of people here in 2015 was 33rd. And some countries which are much less wealthy are far above. Guess which country is, so to say, leading this longevity list? South Korea. I did not analyze why. Maybe if you will want to give me such homework, I will do the research. But just as a matter of fact, we are far behind. And what is amazing, all the good brains are here, as all this information I found from the open sources. Harvard Medical School, Pittsburgh Medical School. So our brains are here. But the reality, the practice is far behind. So it means that majority of people just do not follow all these good advices and what can be called healthy practice. Okay, now more about life longevity. Actually, how are these numbers appearing? You see, when we are talking about life longevity, it includes the longevity of just newborn babies, adult people, male, women, with all chronic diseases and not chronic diseases. When to compare with medieval time or even prehistorical time, at that time there was high rate of children mortality, maternal mortality, when the medicine just did not exist, or just some healers could not solve all these problems. And when one child is dying at being 2 months old, but someone else can live, for example, 75 years, what will be average? 35. I'm just roughly explaining how do we find these numbers of longevity. The wars, okay, when one tribe was fighting against the neighboring tribe, again, men could kill each other. Diseases, epidemics. Well, of course, now we have more developed medicine, and the children mortality is much less. The women mortality is also much less than before. But now the adults, potentially, they can live much longer. Okay, now they start to drink and eat. And they, actually, indeed, they shorten their life this way. I was thrilled to find that back in 17th, 16th century, the nobility in Europe was living long enough, about the same age as now, 70, 80 years old. Like noble women, aristocracy, who were not working in the field, who didn't do any hard job, survived after pregnancy. They lived long, about the same as we live now, which means that biologically we stay the same if we help ourselves and if we live smart enough. A little bit of numbers. So the prognosis for life longevity in the USA by 2030 for men is 79.5 years, for women 83.3. But I believe these numbers can be much bigger. We can live much longer. These numbers are actually very similar to middle income countries. And the analysis made by Harvard Medical School, why do the American people have comparatively short life longevity, is the reasons: lack of medical care, they call it the first reason. Second, child and maternity mortality. Homicide is on the third place. And obesity is on the fourth place.
I could not hear the third and fourth.
Homicide.
Oh.
Ask me, because I realize I have accent, and sometimes for the people who are not used to my speech, it is hard to understand. I know this. I cannot change it.
You're doing fine.
So right now, there are 5 countries which are on the top list of life longevity, which are South Korea, as I mentioned, Australia, Switzerland, which is not a surprise, Canada, our neighbors, and Netherlands. Of course, there are different lists for male longevity, female longevity, but I took, so to say, the average. Next factor can be important to make our life better and longer is education. Again, it is not my analysis. This is the information which I took from the open sources. More educated people are just have more information how to behave more correct and how to live smarter. So education, according to those researchers, has a bigger impact on health and longevity than targeted behavioral or medical interventions in adulthood. So magic bullets, magic pills work not as good as just being smart and behave and just do right things. And among the 5 most important healthy habits, according to Harvard Medical School, are those. Healthy diet is number 1, because we can talk forever, we can talk for days. Each food, when it is natural, not some bleached flour or not some sugar purified, has tons of nutrients, vitamins, which are beneficial, which are necessary. They are better than vitamins and any other pills.